The Midnight Library Lantern. English Story Level 2. In the quiet town of Everbell, there stood an old library that few people visited. The building had tall windows, heavy wooden doors, and a clock tower that rang every hour. Most children found it boring, but Emma loved the way the place smelled like dusty pages mixed with warm sunlight. She often stayed after school to read adventure books and fairy tales. The librarian, Mrs. Willow, always welcomed her with a gentle smile and a cup of warm tea. One rainy evening, Emma stayed later than usual. She was searching for a new book when she noticed something strange, a dim orange glow coming from between two tall shelves. At first she thought it was the reflection of the streetlights, but the glow flickered like fire. Curious, she put her backpack down and walked toward the light slowly. The library was unusually silent. Even the raindrops outside seemed to pause and listen. Hidden behind the shelves, Emma found a small lantern sitting on a pile of old books. The lantern was made of brass and decorated with tiny stars carved into the metal. It glowed softly, even though it didn't seem to have a candle inside. Emma reached out carefully and touched it. The moment her fingers brushed the handle, the lantern brightened, filling the space with warm golden light. She gasped and almost dropped it. Suddenly, the shelves around her began to shift. Books moved aside as if pushed by invisible hands. A narrow passage slowly opened, revealing a hidden hallway filled with floating papers and shimmering dust. Emma stared in disbelief. She knew the library was old, but she never imagined it held magical secrets. For a moment she hesitated, wondering if she should call Mrs. Willow, but curiosity tugged at her feet. Emma stepped forward, holding the glowing lantern tightly. The hallway stretched farther than she expected. As she walked, she noticed paintings on the walls that moved as if alive, forests waving in the wind, oceans rising and falling. At the end of the hallway stood a wooden door with golden patterns swirling across its surface. The lantern in Emma's hand pulsed gently, almost guiding her. When she pushed the door open, she found herself in a large hidden room filled with floating books. Some opened by themselves, pages turning without wind. Others glowed in the lantern's light. At the center of the room floated a giant book with silver edges. Emma approached it slowly, her heart beating fast. The book opened and words appeared as if written by invisible ink. "Welcome, Keeper of the Lantern." Emma's eyes widened. She didn't understand at first, but then she felt something warm inside her chest, a soft whisper telling her that she had been chosen. The lantern she held was not just an object, it was a key to the library's oldest magic. The giant book showed her images of stories that had never been told, stories waiting for someone brave enough to read and protect them. Just then Mrs. Willow entered quietly from another door. She didn't look surprised at all. In fact, she smiled warmly and said, "I knew it would choose you one day." Emma stood speechless. Mrs. Willow explained that the library was much more than a place for books. It was a guardian of forgotten stories, and Emma now had the responsibility to explore them. Emma felt nervous but excited. She knew her life had changed. That night, when she left the library and stepped into the cool rain, she wasn't just a girl who loved stories, she was the new keeper of the lantern, protector of magic hidden in pages.